Gary Johnson, with his neatly trimmed beard and tweed jacket, was the quintessential picture of an unassuming college professor. He taught sociology and criminal justice, captivating students with lectures on deviant behavior and the complexities of the human mind. But behind this veneer of normalcy hid a secret life. Johnson straddled a perilous line, one that blurred the boundaries between upholding the law and descending into the murky underworld of contract killings. He wasn't just lecturing about crime, he was living it. The FBI approached him, recognizing in him a unique blend of academic knowledge and a knack for reading people. His mission to transform into a hitman for hire, infiltrating the darkest corners of society to bring criminals to justice. Gone was the professor who animatedly discussed sociological theories. In his place was a man who exuded an aura of quiet danger. It was a performance that could mean the difference between life and death, and Johnson's work was high stakes, demanding an unwavering nerve and constant awareness of lurking danger. He'd meet potential clients in seedy bars and desolate diners where shadows danced and suspicion lingered. These weren't hardened criminals, they were desperate individuals, blinded by rage or greed. Johnson, posing as a ruthless professional, recorded every word, every detail. Sting operations were meticulously planned, a ballet of undercover agents and surveillance teams. Johnson, wired with hidden cameras, drew targets into a web of lies. His goal was to elicit a confession, providing the evidence needed for a conviction. Living a double life took a toll on Johnson. The lines blurred, the darkness of the criminal world seeping into his own. He found himself questioning his own morality, wondering if he was becoming too comfortable in the skin of the hitman he portrayed. The weight of his secrets pressed down on him, the constant fear of exposure a heavy burden to bear. He compartmentalized his life, keeping his two worlds separate. His family knew nothing of his undercover work, only that he consulted for law enforcement. It was a lie he told himself was necessary, a way to protect them from the dangers he faced. Returning to the classroom after a harrowing undercover operation was a jarring experience, the innocence of his students a stark contrast to the darkness he had immersed himself in. But it was also a grounding experience, a reminder of the line he walked, the reason he put himself in harm's way. Johnson's efforts put countless criminals behind bars, their plans for violence thwarted before they could be carried out. But his victories were often bittersweet. He saw firsthand the desperation that drove some to contemplate murder, the broken lives and simmering resentments that could erupt with shocking violence. The psychological toll was immense, the constant pressure of living a lie, the fear of exposure, and the moral ambiguity of his work took a heavy toll. Johnson found himself battling insomnia, the faces of the people he had deceived flashing behind his eyelids. He sought therapy, trying to reconcile the two sides of himself, the professor and the hitman, desperately trying to hold on to the shreds of his former life. There were threats, veiled warnings from those who suspected his true identity. Johnson lived with the constant fear of retaliation, knowing that his actions had consequences that extended far beyond the courtroom. Despite the risks and the toll it took on his personal life, Johnson persevered. He was driven by a sense of duty, a belief that he was making a difference in a world that often felt shrouded in darkness. He had stared into the abyss of human nature and emerged, forever changed. He saw the good in people, but also their capacity for cruelty and violence. Johnson's story is a testament to the complexities of human nature. It's a reminder that the line between right and wrong can be blurry, that sometimes the only way to fight monsters is to become one yourself. He knew that his work would forever brand him, that the secrets he held would always be a part of him. He accepted this as the price of his actions, the weight he would carry for the rest of his days. Gary Johnson's story, as depicted in the Netflix documentary Hitman, captivated audiences, offering a glimpse into a world few ever witness. It raised uncomfortable questions about the lengths we go to for justice and the personal sacrifices demanded of those who operate in the shadows. Beyond the intrigue of undercover operations lies a complex and deeply human story. Johnson's life was a testament to the power of transformation, the ability to disappear into a role and convince others of its authenticity. He was a chameleon adapting to his surroundings, becoming whomever he needed to be to achieve his objectives. But behind the masks was a man grappling with his own demons, fighting to retain a semblance of normalcy. The real Gary Johnson wasn't just an undercover operative. He was a husband, a father, a professor.